Welcome to a brand new episode of Bonus Stage. Plus, of course, my name is Billy, and right next to me is, well, I'll never get that right. But anyway.
Hey folks, it's Renzo, the official player 2 of the Bonus Stage Plus, back at it again, and thank you so much for tuning in every single week for the latest in gaming news, trailers, and interviews with the local gaming community and features. Man, I loved our episode last week. Having Renmar over was just such a blast, and just talking about the MOBA world with him was great. But my goodness, Billy, the news this week, absolutely world-shattering, all the way, of course, coming from the world of console gaming and a certain big gaming studio that a piece of news that, like, I even had to, like, message you about, like, at 2 or 3 in the morning when it came out.
And full disclosure, you know that it's a huge story because, of course, Renzo would normally leave it to me to, of course, gather news for this show. But the fact that he messaged me and tried to remind me about it, and of course, well, if he was more active on other social media sites, he'd just tag me incessantly, like, hey, Billy, hey. It's that magnitude, kind of has shades of, let's say, Disney acquiring Lucasfilm and its entire catalog way back in 2012, but we're talking about way more money here. But before we tackle that, where can we find ourselves on the internet? Of course, we are at 95playfm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and even YouTube. That last one, slightly different channel name, but search for us nonetheless and you'll find us. And how about you, Renzo?
You can find me all over social media. It is at Renzosaurus. Yes, like the dinosaur, made-up dinosaur. RenzoSaurus.
And of course, I'm yes, there's an underscore there. _Burns on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Do follow me on that last one because I play a lot of Power Rangers. And with that, time for the news. All right, the news. The earth-shattering news that even Renzo himself had to message me about. And I did reply to him and said that I was processing it because anything of this magnitude requires a lot of thought before, of course, you express any opinions on it. Of course, this is the internet that we live in, and there will be hot takes left and right, but I do have one take on it that we'll discuss later. But the news...
But what's the news?
Yeah, the news actually is that Microsoft, of course, well, Xbox Studios, they purchased not just Bethesda, because that was the initial headline that came out. Not just Bethesda, but ZENIMAX Media. And that has some huge implications because that is the parent company of a whole bunch of other studios and not just Bethesda. So not only does Microsoft now own the rights to, let's say, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Starfield,
Doom,
which is their upcoming, of course, Doom. Of course, id is under ZeniMax Media. They also own the rights to Dishonored, a bunch of other things. Prey 2016 or 2017 was it? Was a really good game, and now they own that too. And you know the amount that they bought all of this for? $7.5 billion, my friend.
What? 7.5? Okay, you know what? There's someone very happy there.
To put things into perspective, Disney bought Lucasfilm for $4 billion.
That's nearly double the price of Lucasfilm.
And when you think about it, our mouths were already agape when that purchase was made. And man, I'm using agape as pretty big words, Billy. But anyway. Yes, it is quite a shocker. Everyone, and the fact that, of course, this happened late night here, so that would be like early morning over in the States. So various media outlets, any pundit talking about video games over on the other side of the world, they were waking up to this news, and it was quite the shocker. So this means a lot of things moving forward. Now, you're probably wondering, so wait, what happens to the currently published Bethesda games and, other stuff that's under ZeniMax? Of course, they'll still continue to be published. They're going to be available. It's not like just because Microsoft bought them right now, that means, your Skyrim, your copies of Skyrim, Doom, and whatever are just suddenly going to disappear from shelves or from your console. That's not quite it. And Microsoft has a track record of still having games released on other platforms, for that matter. I mean, you got Minecraft everywhere. You have Ori and the Blind Forest and Will of the Wisps on other consoles, Switch in particular. So That's still definitely going to be honored. And by the way, PS5 has 2 console exclusives, well, timed exclusives that are coming from Bethesda. Those will still be honored, but from that point forward, Phil Spencer does say that future console titles coming in from, of course, Bethesda and other ZeniMax Media studios will be released on other platforms on a case-to-case basis. However, you can expect that, yes, PC will always be included in the equation because, of course, Microsoft does have a share in the PC space.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, it'll be on Steam or whatever launcher that Bethesda has. Preferably Steam because, you know, just consolidate the library right there. What's your take on
definitely.
it? How do you feel about
this? I mean, first of all, smart move to announce this acquisition a day before Xbox pre-orders went online. So I can only imagine that there were so many people who may have been adequately freaked out by this enough to say, okay, if they're going to start announcing some games, Bethesda games that we all know and love and have known to be time sinkers and, you know, bang for your buck games, then I'm pretty sure there were some people or a lot of people out there who decided to pre-order the Xbox over the PS5 in that case. But I feel like this isn't going to be as big of a threat as Microsoft might think it is, I guess, in terms of versus the PS5, because at the end of the day, I mean, people, yes, of course, they do want their games on PS5 as well. But when you say that it will also probably be on PC, I feel like that's also an alternative that people can explore. It's just, I will not underestimate the lengths that people will go to not to get an Xbox and to play their games on another console, because there seems to have been some strange prejudice against that system in the past couple of years with some valid reason. But I don't think this is the PS5 killer that everyone is making it out to be, because at the end of the day, again, case-to-case basis, while that does sound a little pessimistic in terms of, well, it just seems like a more polite way of saying, yeah, we're not going to be releasing these Bethesda games on PS5 anytime soon. It's still probably going to have, as you said, more of a chance to have another life on PC, which again is an option that a lot of people are exploring more and more with the affordable graphics cards coming in and pieces and parts getting cheaper. I feel like it's while it is a really huge acquisition money-wise, it's not that big of an impact for the Xbox.
And from the looks of it, at least some people have said that Microsoft is becoming less and less of a hardware manufacturer and more of a publishing studio themselves, because they get their games on other platforms. And compared to, of course, a couple of years ago, they are focusing more and more back into PC gaming and not just solely on Xbox. So that's another thing worth looking at. And my take on this, and we've talked about this before all of this, is on one hand, okay, it's cool because it gives Bethesda a lot of resources to work with. And I have a little excerpt right here from Pete Hines. It's on Bethesda.net, and we'll link it to you in the show notes, and you'll probably see a little screenshot of it right here. He says, okay, but the key point is we're still Bethesda. We're still working on the same games we were yesterday, made by the same studios we've worked with for years, and those games will be published by us. So when you get a Bethesda game, it's still published by Bethesda, except, of course, there's probably that fine print, like, under Microsoft, something like that.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
why the change? Because it allows us to make even better games going forward. Microsoft is an incredible partner and offers access to resources that will make us a better publisher and developer. We believe that means better games for you to play. Simply put, we believe that change is an important part of getting better. We believe in pushing ourselves to be better, to innovate, to grow. I will only believe that once they start releasing games that aren't buggy on launch.
Oh, that is completely true. Come on, guys. Fallout 76. Come on,
Even
guys.
Fallout 4, a game that we both got at the same time.
That's true. And I freaking love that game. I can admit it is pretty buggy, and it does have its faults, of course, if you compare it to a game like New Vegas. However, with that Bill Gates money, though, might be getting some good stuff.
Okay, and the take that I really wanted to discuss is, on one hand, cool, they have resources, but at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of media conglomeration or consolidation, like having one or a few companies control most, if not all, of your entertainment. And, you know, that's already happening in the movie and television space. I mean, what with all the streaming services getting, of course, eaten up by other larger companies. I'm looking at you, Disney. And then... I mean, they're not the only ones responsible.
Yeah, for
here.
sure.
Of course, there are other companies that have been doing that. But now would be a really good time to start, of course, looking at and supporting smaller developers, because now more than ever, they're probably going to need your help before, you know, they start looking elsewhere for greener pastures or like larger funding from larger companies. And as you know, as pessimistic as this may sound, I would like those smaller studios to still keep their creative vision and not be stifled by, you know, interference from a larger studio, you know, meeting quotas or focus testing to meet this kind of demographic and all that stuff. Make the games that you want to, but not be dictated by some larger corporate force. But that's just me. Sure. I'm just one guy in a sea or ocean of opinions. But of course, what we advise you to do is read up more on this matter, form your own opinion, and well, we would love to hear about it. Okay, so maybe next week when we come back to the story after more stuff has come out, do sound off in the comments. Ain't that right, Renzo?
Yes, please do. Down below right there, let us know how you feel. And that was a good time to maybe, you know, throw some money towards Fall Guys and Among Us. Hey, they're the biggest games right now. Independent creators and developers. It's the best time to, I guess, throw in some cash here and there to support indie development. If you're willing to spend like 2,800, like 2,800 pesos on a new release from a big studio, what's like a fraction of that for these small studios to keep them going? Yeah,
cup of coffee. All right. And, of course, on to more news.
All right, folks, so as you know, BTS's track Dynamite is probably the biggest thing in pop radio and in just music and entertainment in general right now. They've released their main music video. They released a secondary music video in which they rented out an entire theme park to perform for America's Got Talent, and it was just an absolute blast. But how does this cross-check with the world of gaming, you ask? Well, you know, we've heard of artists performing in the world of Fortnite, like Marshmello, Diplo rather, and Travis Scott. Even a gigantic Travis Scott was projected into the world of Fortnite to premiere a single and even perform some new songs. But BTS may be the next song, or I guess dance, that you see happening in Fortnite, because this Friday, so tomorrow, September 25, we will be seeing in Party Royale, which is basically the chill version of Fortnite, where you're just really supposed to just lounge, go around, and not really be too focused on killing one another to be the Victor Royale. This is going to be where they're going to premiere the new music video for BTS's Dynamite, but as they described, it is going to be the music video choreography version. And as we all know, Fortnite is really well known for sometimes ripping off, but also creating their own dances for their player models, and we're going to be seeing BTS's Dynamite grace the lands of Party Royale, much like Marshmello, much like Travis Scott, and much like Diplo. So if your cross-check of fandoms includes being a BTS army member and being a Fortniter, I don't even know what they call them, then hey, this is good news for you. Fortnite player, then this is good news for you. Tomorrow, September 25, you better log on, because you can catch the music video choreography version of BTS's Dynamite. And this is probably like the strangest, but also the simultaneously most that makes sense crossover, because these are the two biggest things both in gaming and in music right now. And I would not be surprised.
It's a huge pop culture overlap. And as someone who isn't really that much into K-pop, although if you look at my front page now, there is a lot of K-pop.
Okay, yeah, I've seen your wallpaper before, Billy.
Yes, you've seen one of my wallpapers before. That's just that one time. But yes, huge pop culture overlap. And of course, I have to hand it to BTS. Dynamite is incredibly catchy. I am late to the party, but I've only seen, I don't know, the music video 2 weeks ago. And here we are, a couple weeks later, and they're debuting the choreography version of it, which is most likely going to be them in just the studio, just dancing to the whole thing. But, you know, even those videos rack up millions and millions of views. So, this isn't the first time that, of course, Fortnite has done a major media crossover. So it's not just in terms of premiering, of course, music videos. They've done stuff for Star Wars where, well, that didn't pan out too well because it was a critical piece of the movie, and which was supposed to be part of the movie in the first place, but it's a different story altogether. They've done John Wick crossovers, they've crossed over with DC and Marvel. So at this point, we can all say that Fortnite is less of a video game. Well, it is still a video game, of course.
Yeah.
And people still build stuff and kill each other in it, but it's also a huge marketing platform, and I can't imagine how much clout or reach a brand can get once they get onto something like Fortnite. And I know that's slowly happening with something like Fall Guys. However, Mediatonic has been managing to at least twist it into something that still fits within Fall Guys' creative vision.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think they need Fortnite. Like I don't think they need them. But for those of you who are excited for this and can't really wait for Friday or even Saturday, if we are going with our time zone, then right now you can hop on to a creative mode world that is based off of the original Dynamite music video, where you can just go around and explore the actual area of the music video as recreated in Fortnite, with the music playing in the background. So if you want to live the music video, as I'm pretty sure a lot of BTS Army would love to, you can do that right now.
They're missing out on one opportunity, and this is I don't really have a marketing background, but where are the BTS skins, right?
That's the thing. Yeah, I feel like the screenshot alone from the previews really just looks like regular Fortnite characters dancing the Dynamite choreography. But I'm also wondering, is it going to be the boys of BTS as their Fortnite animated counterparts performing? Because I'm pretty sure, the management behind BTS, I don't think they're going to allow a music video of BTS's Dynamite to be, portrayed without BTS in it. So it's interesting to see. Let's wait till Saturday or Friday, depending where you are.
And with that, of course, let's move on to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, the year is 2020. We are going through a global pandemic. I know I'm trying to make it sound as serious as possible because, of course, this is a serious situation. Now, gaming events like Gamescom, E3, Paris Games Week, Tokyo Game Show, they've either been postponed till next year or they've shifted over to an online presence, which is going to do for the meantime until we can have actual live events again. And BlizzCon is no different. They're even changing the name just a bit to fit that format. It's now going to be called BlizzCon Line, happening on the 19th to 20th of February of next year. So that's not too far away. It's not going to happen August or September. That's when BlizzCon usually happens, but just a couple months from now. And in terms of games to watch out for, how about that, Renzo?
Okay, so a lot of people, of course, are expecting two big titles to be featured on BlizzCon Line next year. Of course, in February, as Billy mentioned. The big ones, obviously, Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4. Are we going to see footage or release dates or anything? Well, I mean, while we can't mention anything for sure just yet, please do take the following into account. So back in BlizzCon 2019, during the Overwatch panel, director of the game, Jeff Kaplan himself, was asked about when Overwatch 2 would be released, and he literally said, "I have no idea." When asked about the release of Overwatch 2, he said he had no idea because it's so far away from the actual release date that they're planning, and I'm pretty sure they're still in the super early stages of development that we might not also hear anything new come BlizzCon Line, but I could also be proven wrong. But in terms of just big developments, we're probably only going to be getting maybe a new cinematic trailer, which would not be bad at all. But in terms of release dates, it might still be far away. Now with Diablo 4, obviously the big question in everybody's mind is also, when will it be released? We don't have a release date yet because, mirroring Jeff Kaplan's response back in BlizzCon 2019, game director Luis Barriga also gave a pretty painfully blunt response when asked about Diablo 4's release date. He said it won't be coming out soon, not even Blizzard soon. Now, I don't even know what that means, but if you want a reference, Diablo 3 was announced in 2008. When did Diablo 3 come out? 2012. So that was 4 years of development after it was announced. So are we going to be getting another 4 to 5 year wait? Possibly. So while we are excited for BlizzCon Line, and while there are many other games under Blizzard's belt that do deserve attention, and I'm pretty sure that you would want to hear about, the two big ones, Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4, might have to manage your expectations as of now, as we might not be hearing anything official just yet.
And besides, Overwatch still has legs. Still got a player base. It's I don't think they're going to be in a rush to get Overwatch 2 out anytime soon. And if they really want to establish it as, of course, a sequel, and they've been really nebulous about that, they're going to have to put in a lot more work or dev time into that one. And as with Diablo 4, come on, we've expected that from the Diablo series. They just release when it's ready. So that might take a while, but come on, if you've been playing this series before, unless you're really hankering for a fix, there are lots of Diablo alternatives out there right now, but if you want the real thing, yeah, you've got to wait for a couple of years before you get a taste of it. And by all accounts and purposes, Diablo 4 looks pretty nice. Okay,
yeah, it looks really, really good.
That's something that they have down pat. But in terms of gameplay, we don't have anything concrete yet. I think we've only seen Barbarian gameplay, as far as I know.
Yeah, I think it's also tricky because, they announced, it is kind of known by everybody that they announced Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 as a way to kind of quell the flames of their controversies from last year, to appease the crowd. So while it did work to some extent, that is very, very important to take into consideration when it comes to how ready these games are. So they could even be close to not ready at all, or just be so far from production's completion that, again, folks, manage those expectations, because we might still be years ahead, or years away rather, from these games.
But there is other stuff to look forward to, including of course a community showcase like cosplay, art, digital storytelling, and a talent spotlight. So whatever that is, participants are allowed to submit videos of themselves performing, singing, dancing, or doing whatever it is you do. So if you think that you've got this really cool Hearthstone song that you want to release, then yeah, submit it to them, and it just might get showcased or highlighted during BlizzCon line. Renzo, you got anything up your sleeve for them?
I'm still in the middle of writing my Hearthstone musical, so nothing just yet, but we'll see come February of next year.
Well, if you got a part in that for me, then let me know. I think I've been practicing my my stage singing voice for a while now. But
I know.
Before I actually start practicing that, or give you a little demo of that, we got to move on to more news.